Have you ever seen or met these type of people where it's whether it's in person or online, and it seems like they have this super high confidence, and it seems like their confidence is through the roof, and it's like they look, walk, and talk like can't nobody tell me about myself because I know who I am, and it just seems like nothing brings them down. That they're just so confident within themselves and they know who they are. Well, so have I. And the first person that I met like that was actually my mother. And luckily for you, I'm one of those people. And I am here to be your diva, your fellow diva, who is going to teach you the tips and secrets that I learned on how to create this unshakable confidence. And it starts by us going full delulu. So, are you ready? Grab a pen and paper, and we're going to get to see all of the secrets on what you're going to do for the next 35 days so that you too can be just as confident as me and those people that you admire. And let's get started on building this glow and confidence. Hey Diva, welcome back to my channel. And I know that's right, with Natasha Knight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Natasha Knight. Think of me as your favorite unapologetic diva who is here to help you fill your cup of confidence and inspire you to embrace your most authentic selves, bask in self-love, and harness that divine feminine energy, honey. So if you haven't already joined the Diva family of confident, unapologetic people who live out loud, please make sure that you do so by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you get a notification every single time I upload a video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Please also don't forget to like, comment, and share. And let's get started with the video. So like I said before, we've all seen people where it looks like they think like they don't stink. And we're not going to be one of those people. We're going to be one of those people where it's like we look, walk, and talk like we're the shit because we know we're the and because of the fact that we're the we're going to move that way. But we're going to move that way in a positive way and in a loving way, not in an obnoxious or arrogant way. But we're going to move in a way that way we have such an unshakable confidence that can't nobody bring us down. Okay? The only one that can bring us down would be God, and He's not here to bring us down. So, that being said, I'm going to give you guys these tips that come from my mother. I know that not everybody has a wonderful mother, but luckily for me, my mother was one of the greatest angels to ever walk this earth. And why I say she was is because she passed away almost 8 years ago now. But one of the greatest gifts that she left me with on this earth is my unshakable confidence. You'd be surprised how many people I meet, and they're beautiful. They have beautiful personalities, but they feel so insecure within themselves. And so for me, it's really important to help you build this unshakable confidence where it's like you're so confident within yourself that can't nobody tell you nothing. And so growing up, when I was younger, I was about 6 or 7 years old, my dad used to actually make fun of my nose a lot, which then caused an insecurity of mine because I was like, oh man. And so I felt really insecure about my nose. And then I also found out a little bit after from the doctor that one of my legs is actually a little bit longer than the other. And that was another thing that he would make fun of. So then this is another part of my physical appearance. It doesn't really show too much, but it made me feel really insecure and really unconfident within myself. And my mom didn't like it. So her job was like, I'm here to make sure that I curb that for you. And so that's why I say I have one of the greatest mothers. And if you guys were not lucky enough to have, it doesn't matter because now I'm going to be that figure for you. And you guys are going to remother and reparent yourself. So you're going to build your confidence. Okay. And so with that, what my mom had me do was she had me look in the mirror and she said, what of your physical appearance are you unhappy with? Oh, my nose. So whether it's that your eyes, you feel like your eyes are too far apart, or your eyebrows are too thin, or my hair is too thin, it's not long enough, or I don't know, because at the end of the day, we're human beings. And as human beings, we're naturally judgmental. And our worst critic is always going to be ourself, right? And so, with that, we are going to take the step of redefining our flaws. Okay, so that's going to be step number one. And everyone has flaws. But unfortunately, we live in a society today that is run by the media. So societal standards are shown to us through magazines, through movies, through press, through social media platforms like the Instagram, the TikTok, YouTube, all of these things. We see these Instagram baddies. And yes, I put the in front of everything because I'm extra, but get with it. So we have the Instagram, we have the TikTok, we have the YouTube, we have the Instagram baddies. And we also live in a culture that is so focused on this unattainable beauty standard that a lot of people end up going under a needle or a knife to achieve these looks so that they can look similar to these people. But what we have to understand is that we're all created in God's image. And again, this is not me bashing anybody who has made the decision to alter things or enhance things about their appearance because they're unhappy with it. That is completely fine. However, it's my personal belief that God makes us in all of us in our own image. And it is very possible for us to see the beauty that we have within us in front of the mirror. And so, with that being said, I want us to focus on redefining our flaws. So, obviously, based on society, a lot of people now they get fillers, they get Botox, they get BBLs because they're like, oh, my body's not shaped this way, or my hair is not long enough, or whatever, and all of these things. And they do all these things because they want to change their appearance, which is fine, right? I'm never against, beauty things as far as like, using makeup and hair stuff and all that stuff. Those things are nice, and nails and getting your feet done. But I'm talking about attainable beauty, like beauty that you actually have. At the end of the day, all of us are beautiful. And so, with that, we have to redefine our flaws. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take the things about ourselves that we felt unconfident about. One of my things was my nose at the time, which is crazy when I look at it now because I don't even have a crazy nose. And even if my nose was big, my mom's nose was big. And guess what? She was beautiful and she loved that shit. And so, but like I said, it's not even like I have a crazy big nose, but because I was made fun of in my past, in my childhood, from my dad about my nose, and then also made fun of for one of my legs being longer than the other, I automatically had this, how can I say it? I automatically had this insecurity within myself, right? And so the way that we're going to change that is we are going to redefine our flaws. And so any part of our body, whether we don't like our whether we don't like our cheekbones, or we don't like our lips, or we don't like whatever it is, we don't like our ears, we don't like our complexion, anything that we say, oh, I feel so unconfident and I'm not happy with this and this is horrible, we're going to take that and we're going to flip it around. And every time that we look into a mirror, we're going to tell ourselves that it's beautiful. That's what my mom had me do every single time. She said, when you're brushing your teeth, you're going to tell yourself, my nose is beautiful. My nose is perfect. It is the perfect size. And that's what you have to tell yourself. And so anything about yourself, it doesn't matter what. You could have a huge list of things from your physical appearance, whether it's your body, whatever. You're going to tell yourself it's perfect. And every single time that you pass a mirror, you're going to look at it and smile. And you're going to repeat it to yourself either out loud or inside your head. But it's important that every single mirror that you pass, moving forward for the next 35 days, that's what you're going to do. You're going to redefine your flaws, and they're going to be turned into perfection. Okay, so since we're turning our flaws into perfection and redefining it, we are telling ourselves, whether we see our reflection on a car window, a store window, we are going to look and we're going to smile and say, damn, I look good today. Because at the end of the day, you want that when you look in the mirror, you smile back. And how my mom always put it is, you want that if a boy or girl comes to you and they tell you you're ugly, you can laugh in your face because you know they're blind. Why? Because you look in the mirror every day and you smile back. So that's tip number one. Now let's go for tip number two. So for tip number two, or secret number two, it will be us keeping our head held high. So my mom, from a very young age, and part of it has to do with her Honduran culture, has always stressed the importance of keeping your head held high. And keeping your head held high is in the aspect of having good posture. Good posture is extremely important. Posture is how people, as human beings, like I said, we're naturally judgmental. So we're naturally going to have these things that we notice about people, and we're automatically going to make assumptions based off of what we see. So, for example, if you see me sitting down and I'm slouched like this and I'm looking down and I'm looking away, sorry, and I'm looking down and I'm looking away and I'm not looking sure within myself, you're automatically going to assume that number one, something's wrong with me or that I'm not confident within myself. However, if you see me sitting upright with my shoulders back, my neck high, and my head held high, you're automatically going to see me sitting erect with good posture. And you're going to be like, oh, wow, she's very sure of herself. She's sitting down. That's just a natural assumption that you're going to make. And it's because of the way that I'm sitting and the way that I'm appearing and presenting myself. Your posture has a it's a huge part of your self-confidence, okay? And so, yeah, and I'm obviously not making fun of or talking about people who do not have the privilege of being able-bodied or have disabilities and cannot change the posture that they have, but I'm talking specifically about us able-bodied people who can change our posture, who can stop us from putting our chin down like this and making sure that our neck is up, making sure that our head is held high, because our head is meant to be held high. How my mom used to say it is my grandma used to put books on her and her sister's head so that way they were sitting upright and standing upright because they had to balance books on their head. Now, I'm not telling you in this day and age that that's something that you have to do, but what you can do is practice sitting and watching yourself, whether it's recording yourself on a camera like I am right now, or on your phone, or in front of the mirror, and just sitting down and watching yourself and like looking at how you sit and just practicing sitting upright, whether that's starting from sitting on a train upright, sitting in a car upright, but anywhere that you sit, you want to have good posture, and good posture also for when you're walking. Okay? So that's secret number 2. And now we're ready for secret number 3. So for secret slash tip number 3, we are going to go over walking, that the world is your runway. And so walking is a huge part of your confidence. It's also a huge part of how you appear, right? And so when you see people with good posture, walking with their head held high and not looking down, again, we do have to look down because, again, we don't want to trip. That's going to be mad embarrassing, right? If we trip, it's going to be crazy embarrassing. And that's definitely not something that we have an interest in. However, you do want to be able to see what's going on the floor so that you don't trip off of anything. But what we need to do is have that unshakable self-confidence, right? So we have to be delusional and we have to pretend that everywhere we're walking is a runway. That doesn't mean we're twitching our hips and doing all that stuff. That's not necessary. But I'm going to show you different ways that we can walk to achieve that. So, for example, I'm going to walk away from the camera just because I want to show you what I'm talking about. So, I am a person where I have extremely large hips, extremely large lower half. So, my derriere and my hips are very wide. So, naturally, when I walk, it gives the appearance as though I am dancing almost, and then I'm twitching my hips. Now, when I say walking anywhere, because when you walk into a room, you want to command respect, right? You want to command the attention of other people, even if you're a person who does not like attention. But we want to command the attention in a positive way. And so that starts with how we move and how we walk. So, for example, if I'm walking like this, as if I'm on a runway, I look ridiculous because guess what? I am not dancing. And so because I'm not dancing and going on a runway and showing off this outfit, which is nothing to show off right now. Let's be real. It's a sports bra and some pants. But the point is, if we want to show and exude that confidence to command a room where people are like, wow, who's that? We're going to have to make sure that we keep our posture. Like I said, shoulders back, back erect, neck up, head held high. And then we're going to walk. And we're going to walk. And it's the same when we go to sit down. If you see me sitting down straight, I'm giving off this confident feminine energy, and that's key. So that is for tip number 3. So our next step is going to be how we're going to be talking to ourselves. So what's key is that when we talk and when we introduce ourselves, that we speak with confidence. So it's not just about how we look and how we walk, it's also how we talk. So now we're on the section of talking. And so that means that we're going to talk like we're confident. So we're going to make sure that everything that we say is exuding confidence. So for example, if I'm to introduce myself to somebody, I'm going to shake your hand and say, "Hi, I'm Natasha." And I'm going to try to look you in the eye. Now, I'm very aware that a lot of people, it feels very unnatural or very uncomfortable for whatever reason to look someone in the eyes. So if you struggle to look at someone in the eyes, pick a point on their face that's very close to the eyes, whether it's the between their brows or the bridge of their nose, and that would be the focal point for when you're looking at them, so that it gives the appearance that you're looking at them in the eye and that you're not looking down and that you care about what it is that you're saying and what it is that they're saying, because you want to make sure that you're very engaging. Also, when you talk to people, you want to make sure that you compliment them. You want to make sure that when you're talking about yourself, if you have to describe yourself, you don't say, "Oh, I'm so stupid," or "Oh, I'm so dumb," or whatever the case is. You speak nicely. You got to talk nicely to yourself, okay? So just like you want other people to talk nicely to you got to talk nicely to yourself. And that starts with talking to yourself. And like I said, I'm very fully aware that as human beings, we are our worst critics, especially based off of things that we say or whatever experiences that we've had in the past. And I'm not here to tell you or invalidate any of your feelings about things that you've gone through in the past. However, I'm here to help you with your future on building that unshakable confidence. And that unshakable confidence comes from making sure that you talk with confidence, that you exude confidence. So we already have our flaws that we've turned into perfection. Then we fixed our posture when it comes to sitting and also with the way that we walk. And now we're going to talk. We're going to, "Hi, I'm Natasha. What's your name?" If someone asks you to introduce yourself, practice introducing yourself. Practice your facial expressions. Practice like how it's going to look, almost as if it's an interview, but just in general. For when you're on dates, for when you're meeting friends, for when you're meeting colleagues, any of those type of things, job interviews, all of these things, what's really important is how you are presented and how you appear to others outside. And it doesn't mean, "Oh, I care about what everybody thinks," but at the end of the day, you want to have that and exude that, what you would consider to be unattainable, which is very attainable, but that unshakable confidence. And that starts with talking to yourself nicely, talking to others nicely. If you see that someone has nice shoes or they have a nice lipstick color or whatever the case is, compliment them. Because as confident people, we naturally compliment other people. We naturally want to uplift other people and bring love into and pour love into other people, because we love ourselves so much and we're so happy with ourselves and how we look and how we feel and how we walk and how we talk, that that's what we want to do. Okay, so that's going to be your tip number 4. And now we're going to segue into the very last secret, and let's get started. So for secret slash tip number 5 is going to be words of affirmation. So just like I said, you want to compliment other people. That starts with complimenting yourself. So for the next 35 days, you're going to follow those 4 tips that I said before. But now we're going to also make sure, because what's very, very, very imperative is that we follow step number 5, which is words of affirmation. So being that we are our worst critics, that means that a lot of the times we always feel like things are not really attainable for us. It's so unattainable, it's so unreachable to get this or to get that or to feel this way or to see that. And it's not true. Just like I told you to say good things about your physical appearance that you don't like, you're going to do the same thing. So for every morning, while you get up and you brush your teeth after you pray or whatever it is, I don't know what your routine is. It could be meditating, it could be praying, whatever the case is. But once you finish that, you want to make sure that when it's time for you to brush your teeth, you are listening to positive affirmations. Now, I know it gets really played out, it gets really annoying. Everyone's like, affirmations, 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 affirmations. But affirmations are important. And I don't mean it in a toxic positivity way where, oh, there's absolutely nothing wrong. No, that's not what it is. What it is you are feeding yourself the positivity and the light that you want in this world and that you want to exude. And so with that, that comes with you listening to positive words of affirmation, whether you have to come up with them yourself and say, I have very pretty brown skin. I love the shape of my eyes, whatever it is, or I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm grounded within myself, whatever the case is. You could even take affirmations from the chakras. But what's important is that you repeat these to yourself, either out loud or inside your head, but you're listening to it every single morning and also as the last thing before you go to bed. You want to make sure that you're listening to night affirmations and positive things about yourself, because you're going to start feeding yourself the positivity that you didn't get in life if you didn't get it. Because I don't know what your story is, but what I know is that I want to be a part of your story where you're actually feeding yourself positivity. So you're going to feed yourself positivity through words of affirmation, and you're going to see how within 35 days, you following all of these steps, you're going to see a humongous difference in the way that you take care of yourself and the way that you look and the way that you feel. Because it's really, really important that in order for you to get all of the things that you want in life, that you exude confidence, okay? Confidence is key, because if you don't believe it, I'm not going to believe it. And trust me, I believe it. I know that you're this because I know that I'm this, and I know that I'm giving you the tips so that all of us together as divas are okay? So, that being said, I'm going to kind of end it with something that my mom always said after giving me all these tips and instilling these things in me, so that from my childhood all the way to adolescence and adulthood before she passed away when I was 25. And so the point being that my mom, the exceptional woman that she was, she always made sure that she drilled this down my throat, essentially. And I'm very happy for it, because at the end of the day, in whatever circumstance, whether I'm going on a date, whether I am going to a gym class, or anything that I'm doing where I'm meeting people, going to a job interview, all of these things, or making friends, going somewhere to make friends and meet like-minded people, I always exude that confidence. And so because I exude the confidence, I show up as a light to this world. So when I give you these tips, you guys are going to exude the confidence, and with exuding confidence, you're going to end up being a bright light in this world. However, it's really imperative to understand that while you are a bright light, that does mean that you're a lot more susceptible to meeting energy vampires and people that want to drain that light. So it's very important that you use your discernment on who gets your energy during this time, and that if they are not feeding your energy in a positive way and lifting you up and telling you good things about yourself and believing good things about yourself and making you feel good, then that's something that you need to move to the wayside. It doesn't matter if they're a friend, if they're a family, their boss, whatever the case is, you minimize the amount of access of yourself that you give to these type of people, because that's how you're going to keep this unshakable confidence. Because no matter what anybody tells you, if it's not what you believe about yourself and what you forced yourself to believe over the past 35 days, you don't need it and it's not true. Okay? So that being said, that is the end of this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed giving you all of the tips and lessons that my mom gave me over my childhood. It's a good way to remember her and to also help you guys in this world. So I'll leave you with that. But please don't forget to join the Diva family of confident, unapologetic people who live out loud, and subscribe and hit that notification bell, honey. And so please also make sure to like this video and to leave a comment. I'd love to hear if there's any of the tips that you like, hear how it goes for you over time, and if you feel better and all that stuff. So excited to hear from you guys. But with that being said, I'm going to close the video and say, remember, divas, loving yourself is the first secret to happiness. So be your own reason to smile. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.